topic. We now move on over. As the annual session of the UN General Assembly convenes, United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has spoken about a host of issues, including Gaza, Ukraine, Sudan and refugees. Antonio Guterres has warned that the world is facing a global crisis. He has highlighted that there is a sense of impunity among few countries. The UN chief also noted that the geopolitical divides remain the obstruction in effectively addressing the conflicts. Let's take a listen in to his statements.
We are facing a global crisis. Conflicts are multiplying in the context in which geopolitical divides do not allow to effectively address them. There is a sense of impunity. Every country believes they can do whatever they want. So in this context, we absolutely need leaders to come here and to turn the tide, to come here and understand that international cooperation is vital in a moment like this, to come here and do the negotiations and the mediations that are necessary to at least create hope for peace in some of the situations we are facing.
Meanwhile, Antonio Guterres mentioned the conflicts of Palestine, Sudan and Ukraine, stressing that the war in Gaza must come to an end. He talked about a ceasefire deal and the release of hostages. When mentioning Ukraine, the UN chief talked about the big powers' attitude of acting with a sense of impunity. He asked countries to oppose the wars. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
I believe that there will be a clear demonstration that the overwhelming majority of the countries in the world recognize the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination, recognize that there must be a Palestinian state and recognize it in the meeting we'll have on Monday, and at the same time send a very clear message that the carnage that is happening in Gaza has to end, that we need a ceasefire immediately, with the release of all hostages immediately too. The suffering of the Sudanese people is horrible. So I think it's time for the Security Council to be able to take, with the agreement of all the key powers, very tough measures on Sudan. As we live in a world of impunity, it is easy for countries that see the examples of big powers waging war, as in the case of the Ukraine. There is a stimulus for mid-sized countries to try to solve their ambitions or their problems.